Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Weather Sim forecast. And in today's forecast, we are going to be talking about a large storm that's going to be coming to the United States over the next few days. And this is going to bring a lot of impacts, as not only am I expecting the potential for severe weather across parts of the southern United States, but this storm could also bring widespread heavy snowfall across the northern United States, mixed with even some blizzard conditions as well, which we will be talking about in today's forecast. And then at the end of it, we will also be talking about how April could be a very active month just around the corner. But let's first start off by talking about the storm. And you guys can see that this storm will bring a lot of impacts. We are going to be seeing some pretty big thunderstorms trying to develop as we get into tomorrow, especially across parts there of the Midwest and as well as the lower Ohio Valley, before even more storms start to pop up from right behind it, where we could also be seeing the potential for some isolated severe weather down here across the southern United States. While up here to the north, we could have some very heavy snowfall ongoing across northern Minnesota, parts of central and northern Wisconsin, even over there into the UP of Michigan, could all be at risk for very heavy snowfall, and some of that could even continue into the mid-Atlantic and as well as the northeast. So make sure you guys are all being on high alert out there as we get into the next couple of days, as not only will this storm bring the potential for severe weather, but we will also be seeing some very heavy snowfall with this system, especially across the northern United States. So if you live up here, make sure you guys are using extreme caution if you're going to be on the roadways during the next few days. Let's now talk about the severe weather threats that will be coming with this system, which for today, we do actually have a chance of a few severe thunderstorms down here towards Springfield and as well as Joplin, Missouri. Main concern for today is going to be the potential for a few tornadoes, some damaging winds, and biggest concern, maybe even some large hail. We aren't really seeing anything significant, but we could be seeing some isolated damaging winds, a few isolated spin-up tornadoes, and maybe even some large hail as well, so we will need to keep an eye on it very closely as we head throughout today. But as we get into tomorrow, that threat of severe weather really starts to get big, where we could be seeing some scattered damaging winds anywhere from Texas all the way up there into Tennessee. Main concern for tomorrow will be the potential for a few tornadoes, especially over there towards Jackson, but widespread scattered damaging winds between 60 to 70 miles per hour will be possible, and isolated large to very large hail will also be possible. So make sure you guys all are being on high alert if you do live down here in the deep south. It still remains uncertain on how tomorrow will be, but from what we know so far, tomorrow will definitely be another day to watch for, as we will be seeing the potential for severe weather. It's not likely that I'll be live for this since we aren't seeing anything significant, but we could still see a few isolated severe thunderstorms produce large hail, damaging winds, and perhaps even a tornado or two. So make sure you guys all down here in the deep south are being on high alert. Let's now talk about what we could see as we get into April. April is going to be a very interesting month just around the corner, and already we could be seeing a neutral phase by the time we get into the middle of spring, which will be as we get into next month, where we have an 80% chance of being in a neutral phase. And then you guys can see that the chances of a neutral phase do die down. But look at this. I thought this was very interesting compared to what other people show. Now, for my opinion, I think we could see something completely different compared to what it's showing right now, but I do think there is the potential to see another La Nina again by the time we get into next winter. Most people are saying that we could see an El Nino, which is true, but as of right now, the National Weather Service is forecasting more of a La Nina, since it shows those chances for La Nina starting to increase, especially as we get into September, October, and November. So there is the potential for another La Nina winter just around the corner, but at the same time, we are still months away out, so don't really think about that part just yet. As of right now, we're just focusing on what we're going to see in the spring, but as we do get closer to the end of the year, we will know more details, so make sure you guys are all paying attention. Now, let's talk about what we could see as we get into April by looking at some long-range models. By looking at the GFS model, you guys can see that as we get into April, GFS model is really pointing out some pretty large amounts of energy. You guys can see that by the time we get into April 1st, we could be seeing some severe weather unfold across parts there of Tornado Alley and as well as parts there of the Midwest, even though Ohio Valley. But by the time we get a little bit later into April, this is where it starts to get a little more concerning, as we might even have a bigger surge of energy roll on through, and this could be another big severe weather event as we get into April. Now keep in mind, guys, that things can still always change, even though this is looking like something we could see. Now, once again, certainly possible as we are in severe weather season, but at the same time, we do expect things to shift around a little bit as the European model wants to show a much bigger severe weather event than the GFS model, which for my opinion, I think that's a little bit overdone, but certainly something to watch for, as even those energy values will even start to increase by the time we get into April. So make sure you guys are all being on high alert for the rest of the severe weather season, as I do think April and as well as May could both be our most active months of severe weather season, so make sure you guys are all being on high alert. Let's now talk about what we could also be seeing as we get into April, because it's not just going to be the severe weather. Another thing that I am wondering about is the precipitation. If we look at the European weekly models on precipitation and take this forward all the way out to the very end of April, look at this, guys. Deep South, Ohio Valley, Midwest, even parts there of the Mid-Atlantic, we could be seeing the entire month of April see rainfall totals anywhere between 2 to 6 inches of rainfall, guys. That is a lot of rain for April. Potential flooding is likely. We will also likely see some pretty big flood events even over here across the Northwest, since we'll be seeing more of those atmospheric river events rolling on through. And at the same time, we might even be seeing some higher elevation snowfall. Despite some possible snowfall this month, as we head throughout April, maybe some heavy snowstorms over there across the Rocky Mountains and as well as the northern United States. Otherwise, we aren't really seeing any signs of snowfall across the northern United States, or not the northern United States, I meant to say the southern United States, as this is definitely not looking like, you know, it's going to be a very active month for snowfall, but we will still keep an eye on it, as I am expecting snowfall even as we get into the next couple of weeks. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's forecast. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will try to go live again if we do see a severe weather event. Best chances for a severe weather event looks to be as we get into April, as April will be another one of those big months, but even as we get into tomorrow, we still could be seeing some severe weather, so we will keep an eye on that closely. Make sure to also like this video by giving it a thumbs up, and also make sure to share this video by sharing it with friends, family, or anyone you know on social media. It really helps support the channel out a lot, and I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your weekend out there, and I really hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.